I mean, I'm not sure. I'm really happy for Nate. I've been lucky enough to play with him, get to know with him, and he's obviously a pretty incredible player. So, I think that contract's much deserved. And, as far as my situation, I'm not really too focused on that. Still a couple years away, so.
Auston Matthews just shocked everyone. After weeks of loud trade rumors, he finally spoke today, and the NHL reacted in seconds. The silence is over, but the tension is not. His words added new force to a story that was already shaking Toronto. Today, you will hear exactly what he said, why it matters, and why this moment changes the entire story around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Auston Matthews, captain of the Maple Leafs, spoke to the media for the first time in weeks. His comments came after growing talk that the team may need to rethink his long-term role. The pressure around his situation has risen because of one major factor: his availability. Last season, Matthews played 67 games. This season, he has already missed time. Analysts have pointed out the same pattern again and again. They said the team might have to look at his availability moving forward. The facts support that concern. Matthews missed 11 of 35 games last year with an upper body injury. During that stretch, the team won 7 of the 9 games he missed, but his absences stood out. This season, the team's playoff odds sit around 11%. When a team faces numbers like that, every missing game from a top player matters. Every timeline matters. Every decision matters. 2 years from now, Matthews reaches a major contract point. Analysts have said this changes everything for the team. With 2 years left, the pressure grows. The team must decide how to build the roster. They must decide how to use their top assets. And they must decide what they can expect from their captain in the long run. Matthews' contract includes a full no-movement clause. His cap hit is $13.25 million. That means he has full control over any trade. A move cannot happen without his approval. This gives him complete power over where he plays next. Because of this contract and his elite skill, many teams around the league are watching him closely. Even rebuilding teams, including one well-known franchise in the Pacific Division, have shown interest in the idea of targeting him if he ever becomes available. But the obstacles are huge: the contract, the cost, and his no-movement clause. But back to today. The moment Matthews finally spoke, he did not talk about trade rumors directly. He did not confirm anything. He did not shut anything down either. Instead, he used the same direct tone he used months earlier when he addressed the departure of a longtime teammate. At that earlier event, he said the team would miss his teammate, that the business side of the sport is tough, and that they needed to keep moving forward. He said he wished the player the best. Those remarks were short, factual, and careful. He kept that same tone today. But today's timing makes everything different. The Maple Leafs have had a mixed start to the season. They have not moved to the top of their division. They have not shown the clear dominance some expected. At the same time, the team made other moves earlier this year, including a 4-year extension for John Tavares worth $17.52 million. This shows that the team is still building around a certain leadership core. But the questions about Matthews have not gone away. Analysts have pointed out that even when Matthews was in the lineup last year, he did not always appear fully healthy. They pointed out the concern that he might be protecting an injury. That concern, combined with this season's missed games, has created serious discussions behind closed doors. The comment made last season that this could turn into a whole new ballgame if the pattern continues now hangs over the team, and the pattern has continued. When Matthews spoke today, he mentioned again the idea of staying in the moment and focusing on the day in front of him. He said the team has a strong group of players and that they want to be ready to compete. His words were steady, they were controlled, but they did not answer the bigger questions about his future. With 2 years left on his contract, the pressure on the organization increases. Teams do not want to wait until a star's value drops. If they decide to make a move, timing is everything, and timing is exactly what makes today so important. Because the moment a star player breaks silence, even with short remarks, the league listens. Fans listen, teams listen, general managers listen. And today, everyone heard the same thing. Matthews is aware of the situation. He knows the rumors. He knows the questions. He did not stop them. He did not fight them. He simply spoke, then stepped back. His comments also come at a time when several teams around the league have the cap space, the interest, and the need for a player like him. Some clubs have been openly studying the possibility of making an aggressive move if the door ever opens. But fans should know this: no trade can happen unless Matthews approves it. That is a confirmed detail. His no-movement clause gives him full control. Right now, he has not given any sign of approving or denying anything. The situation remains open, and that is why today's comments matter so much. His silence ended, but the story did not end. The Maple Leafs still face the same numbers, the same odds, and the same choices. The team still needs to see whether Matthews can stay healthy this season. The front office still has to decide what direction they want to take, and the league still watches one of the most discussed players in hockey. Today's comments mark a serious moment in this season, a moment that adds weight to every game ahead, a moment that keeps fans watching the situation even more closely. Matthews broke his silence. The questions remain. The Oilers just lost again, and this time the reaction from Connor McDavid said everything.
And I think last night is the kind of accumulation of a lot of different things, and last night's a great warning to the group what happens when you're not ready to.
After blowing several leads and falling 7-4, the pressure on Edmonton has reached a new level. What McDavid said after the game has now become the center of attention. His words pointed straight at the issues that have been building for weeks, and the message hit hard. The Edmonton Oilers entered the game with hopes of stopping their slide. Instead, they were handed a 7-4 loss after giving up multiple two-goal leads. The defeat added to a worrying trend in their season. The team scored early but could not protect the lead. The breakdown happened again and again, and it brought more pressure to a roster already under strain. Connor McDavid finished the night with 2 assists. He recorded one of them on the power play, showing he was still creating chances at key moments. He has been on the score sheet in 9 of his last 10 games, with several multi-point nights. His production has stayed strong, but once again, his numbers did not translate into a win. The Oilers were outplayed down the stretch and could not stop Washington's scoring pushes. The team allowed the Capitals to score 7 times on a mix of rush chances, rebounds, and open looks near the net. The Oilers gave up 5 separate 2-goal leads in the game. Each lead slipped away quickly. This pattern showed the issues inside the defensive zone. Players were unable to cover lanes, clear rebounds, or close out plays when pressure increased. After the game, McDavid spoke about the team's situation. His words were direct. He said the team needed to be stronger in key moments and could not keep giving opponents easy chances. He pointed to breakdowns in the defensive zone and said they needed to tighten up their coverage. He explained that early leads were slipping because the team was not playing the right way once they were ahead. McDavid did not blame any single player. Instead, he talked about the group and how everyone needed to be sharper. He made it clear that the team had control of the game multiple times, but lost it by making mistakes in their own end. His tone showed the growing pressure that comes with every loss. The head coach said the same thing in his own comments. He talked about the need for more support from the depth players. The Oilers have often leaned heavily on McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to carry the load. In this game, the top line produced, but the rest of the lineup did not keep pace. The coach said the entire team must be involved in scoring and defending. The Oilers' defensive structure was tested throughout the game. Washington found open ice in the slot and along the boards. The Capitals used speed to enter the zone and created high-danger chances that led to goals. The Oilers could not track the puck well in their end. Missed assignments and slow reactions resulted in easy scoring opportunities for the opponent. McDavid explained that the team needed more urgency. He said the Oilers had to be better in protecting the puck and clearing the defensive zone. He also said there was no excuse for letting leads disappear. His comments matched what fans have been saying for weeks. Many fans believe the Oilers rely too much on their captain to fix every situation. When the team breaks down defensively, McDavid cannot solve it alone. This loss continued a pattern from earlier games. Edmonton has struggled to defend leads. The team often starts well and generates offense, but mistakes on the back end lead to goals against. Missed plays near the net and slow defensive movement allow opponents to stay close in games. These small errors then turn into major problems. Goaltending also faced pressure in this game. The Oilers allowed several goals from close range. The goalie had to face rebounds, screens, and cross-ice passes. The team's defensive lapses made it difficult to stop these chances. As the game went on, the pressure did not let up. Washington kept finding space, and the Oilers were unable to respond. McDavid's comments after the game highlighted this. He talked about execution. He said the team had chances to pull away, but mistakes allowed the game to slip out of reach. His words showed how aware he is of the team's position in the standings. Every loss now affects their playoff hopes and increases the pressure on the group. The coach also pointed to consistency. He said the team could not rely on a few players to carry every game. He explained that scoring chances were there, but the team needed to lock down defensively. The message was that the Oilers must play a complete game if they want to turn their season around. McDavid was clear that the team needs to improve fast. He said the Oilers cannot let games get away from them. He said the group must play with more discipline and stay focused through all 3 periods. He did not raise his voice or show anger, but his words carried weight. They signaled that the time for small fixes has passed. The loss to Washington made the situation more urgent. The Oilers had chances to take control but could not close out the game. The repeated breakdowns showed that the problems are deeper than one night. They reflect patterns that have affected the team for several games. McDavid's comments confirmed that the players understand this. He said the team needs to trust their structure and stay committed to it throughout the game. He talked about playing with better habits and making smarter decisions. These remarks showed the kind of leadership expected from a captain who continues to produce even during tough stretches. The team now moves forward with the weight of this loss behind them. The next games will show whether McDavid's message has reached the locker room. The Oilers know that every point matters. They know that the problems must be fixed soon. They know the season can turn quickly, but only if they stop the mistakes that have cost them games like this one. McDavid's words after the loss were clear. The team must be better. They must protect their leads. They must defend as a unit. And they must respond now.
McDavid hits the line with speed. McLeod over to check. Thompson a steal. Fires and scores. 5-1 Buffalo, and that'll put it away. Tage Thompson, an empty netter.
Something cracked inside the Edmonton Oilers after their latest collapse, and the shift was visible before anyone walked out of the arena. The energy faded fast. The bench went tense, and then Connor McDavid stepped forward with words that cut straight into the team's deeper problems. His message hit harder than the score itself, and the reaction around the room hints at something that has not surfaced yet.
And I think last night is the kind of accumulation of a lot of different things, and last night's a great warning to the group what happens when you're not ready to roll.
The spotlight on the Edmonton Oilers grew stronger after their 5-1 loss in Buffalo. The team allowed 5 goals, including 2 from Noah Auston, who scored his 2nd and 3rd NHL goals. Buffalo's 4th line produced early pressure, and rookie Colton Ellis stopped 32 of 33 shots. These numbers showed how fast the game slipped away from Edmonton once Buffalo gained control. The Oilers were behind in high-danger chances by a wide margin. Buffalo led that count 14-5. Edmonton's forwards outside inside the top line created only 10 shots on goal. The defense produced 16 more, but the Sabres pushed back each time. The Oilers' only goal came from Jack Roslovic on a one-timer. The team could not find steady offense at 5-on-5, and this problem repeated throughout the night. Vasily Podkolzin explained the team's situation after the game. He said, "We'd better figure out how to win games as soon as possible, because we're not happy with what's going on right now." His second comment described the Sabres' performance. He said, "They played simple. They scored their goals. So there's not much to say." These statements match the team's struggles on the ice and the overall pace Buffalo used to control the game. Head coach Chris Knoblauch placed Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the same line during the game. Both players ranked near the top of the league in average ice time among forwards with more than 2 games played. Depth players were used. This showed how heavily the team relied on its top centers when dealing with pressure. Buffalo continued to control the pace through the second period. Bowen Byram scored the game-winning goal after steady pressure in the Edmonton zone. Sabres.com confirmed that Buffalo earned points in 8 of their last 9 home games, and their recent momentum carried through every shift. The Oilers could not match that speed. After Roslovic tied the game, Buffalo responded with 2 goals in 62 seconds. This sequence changed the entire direction of the night. Chris Knoblauch spoke about this stretch afterward. He said the team lost confidence or emotion after Buffalo's power play goal late in the first period. He explained that Buffalo played with that emotion, that speed, and were the better team in the second half of the game. The Oilers struggled to regain control, and their defensive structure broke down during long shifts in their own end. Knoblauch said he was not seeing a pattern, which showed that the team's issues did not follow one simple trend. They appeared in different ways each night. Edmonton entered the game with a 9-8-4 record. Their road record stood at 4-7-2. And they held only 4 regulation wins in their first 21 games. These numbers reflected the issues that continued to surface throughout the early portion of the season. The loss in Buffalo added to a long run of trouble for the team in that building. This pattern created another challenge before the puck even dropped. Connor McDavid's reaction gained attention because the team needed direction after another difficult night. His earlier comments, noted in recent coverage, referred to the Oilers being flat and needing more emotion. These remarks match the issues seen against the Sabres. The team struggled to keep pace, lost battles around the net, and gave up key plays in their defensive zone. His past statements connected directly to the team's current situation. As the night ended, the Oilers prepared for their next game in Washington. The team traveled with questions still surrounding their defense, scoring depth, and energy level. The facts from this loss shaped the pressure they faced heading into their next matchup.
And I think last night is the kind of accumulation of a lot of different things, and last night's a great warning to the group what happens when you're not ready to roll.
Connor McDavid drops a bombshell on Coach Knoblauch, and the shock in that room was instant. Reporters called it a truth bomb, and the room shifted fast, which set the tone for everything that came next. That
Beating
message
themselves up and not playing very well. So there are a lot of not looking like a very cohesive team right now, just not playing very well, and that's on the coaching staff, mostly myself, to get that
came
aligned.
next. That message didn't appear out of nowhere. The Oilers had been stuck in a stretch where they went 4-4-2 in their last 10 games, and Knoblauch had already said, "We're not playing our best hockey." That quote came on November 2nd. It added weight to the new comments because it showed the coach had been pushing the team for weeks, and now his pressure had reached the captain. That built even more curiosity around how this moment would change their dynamic. Knoblauch also said something important after the November 5th shootout loss to Dallas. He stated, "Leon and Connor were 2 of our better players. We just need to get more out of everyone." That line made it clear he saw the top stars carrying too much of the load. When his new message on November 11th surfaced, people wondered if his patience with the whole team had run out, or if he was now turning that pressure tighter onto McDavid himself. This shift created more questions about how the captain would receive the target placed on him. The timing carried even more weight because McDavid had made a strong statement comment months earlier. After the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup Final in June 2025, he said, "We kept expletive, trying the same thing over and over again, banging our heads against the wall." That quote showed he already had issues with how the team operated. So when Knoblauch fired his new message at him in November, it added a layer of tension that didn't feel new, raising curiosity about what was brewing inside the team long before this night. The Oilers have not won the Stanley Cup since 1990, and each season brings more pressure. When a coach and captain exchange sharp comments only months apart, the spotlight gets even brighter. With Knoblauch calling out the team and McDavid voicing his frustrations earlier in the year, this November moment felt like something bigger starting to crack open, leaving many wondering how far this tension would grow next. The reaction inside the team did not slow down after that night. Reporters said the coach's message toward McDavid was direct enough to make players look around the room. Some felt the comment pointed at leadership, others felt it pointed at effort. But no matter how it was read, the message placed new weight on McDavid right after the win. That made people wonder what the next move inside the locker room would be. The next part of the story connected back to Knoblauch's earlier pressure on the roster, when he said,